Welcome to the Vol Bros. My name is Evan. This is my brother Rustin, or excuse me, the Golden Flash, and we are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life. If you're wondering why Rustin is called the Golden Flash, do you want to tell the folks why?
Because it's one of the best mascots in the world, and that's who we're facing this Saturday.
The mighty Golden Flashes of Kent State will invade Neyland Stadium this Saturday. I don't think it's going to go well for them, but we'll get to that in a moment. We've already got some folks chiming in. TK, welcome, buddy. He said the Golden Flashes are coming to Neyland. We better be ready. Absolutely, we better. And he, had the sarcastic LOL there as well.
Yeah.
Like he said, Golden Flashes sounds like a new term for hot flashes.
It's when you're really old.
Elijah, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, "What's up, bros?" He said, "OMG, is that the Golden Flash?" It's him. It's you got it right there. Rustin is the mascot for Kent State.
I'll be wearing the costume on Saturday night.
Yeah. See, he's on the road right now. He's traveling with the team on their way to Knoxville right now. That's what they're doing. Keg 2071 says, "Sup, bros? Go Big Orange. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Let's see here. 10 Cup, welcome, buddy. Good to have you." He said, "Good evening, bros. Good evening." Audrey, welcome, Audrey. Good to have you. She said, "That name reminds me of the greatest American hero." Let's see. Minolagi said, hey, watch that really old talk. He wasn't referring to you, Minolagi. Absolutely not. Definitely not.
Nope.
10 Cup said, "What is the Kent State mascot?"
Flash, the Golden Eagle. So the technical mascot is the Kent State Golden Flashes, but their actual mascot is Flash, the Golden Eagle.
Absolutely.
Which, as I'm saying, it is 100% a Josh Mancuso video.
Yeah, it's better than Ace Purple from the Purple Aces of Evansville. It's better than that. Herb, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, "Just watch Lady Vol soccer team take down a top 10 team. Everything's cool. Go Big Orange." Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Well, if you're joining us, then you know that every Thursday night we preview during football season, when we preview the upcoming weekend opponent, there's three things we talk about. The first one is what do we want to see this weekend? So, Rustin, what do you want to see this weekend?
I know this question's coming, and I've been sitting trying to figure out what my answer is going to be. Let's be real. So if you were to rank every FBS school, and this is not hyperbole, this is analytics that are real and out there, Kent State is in last place of every FBS school. Now,
to understand that's less than ideal.
Oh, it gets less than ideal. There is a guy who, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, there is a guy who runs the analytics on every college football team, FBS, FCS, Division II, NAIA, everybody, and ranks them all. There are currently 40 FCS and Division II schools ranked above Kent State. That same person ran the numbers on if Kent State played UTC, what would Vegas's line be? And it was UTC by 4.5. So this legitimately might be the worst team to walk into Neyland Stadium in the last 40 to 50 years. And that's not hyperbole. Seriously, based on analytics, this legitimately may be. So what do I want to see this Saturday? I want to see the starters out by the end of the first quarter because it's already out of hand. I want to see no injuries. And I want to see the young guys get so many reps that the NCAA has to question their redshirt rule. That's a good day in my book.
Let's see here. Some of the folks commenting here. Mississippi Vol, welcome, buddy. He said, "Good evening, fellas. Your phone keeps vibrating pretty loud. It must be near. Oh, you're on your phone right now, aren't you?
Yeah, the internet's not working here, so.
So you all said, good evening, fellas. Happy Thursday. Game day's approaching once again. Big Orange Country. Absolutely. He makes a good point. It's already the third game. We're a fourth of the way through the season. It's hard to believe. Like it flies by, man. It just flies by. TK said, I want to see Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, and Peyton Lewis. Hey, I think that's a great point, TK.
I think you're going to see them all the entire second half.
I hope so, actually. I really do. I hope so. Mr. Osborne said, go Big Orange to the ball. Family, absolutely. No injuries. This is what Mr. Osborne wants to see. No injuries, proper focus, no turnovers, excellent efficiency on both sides of the ball. I mean, amen. Like what else can we say, right? I mean, that is perfect. That is exactly what I want to see as well. Especially no injuries and no turnovers. But I love that he said proper focus because listen, we're sitting here talking about how this is easily the worst team on Tennessee's schedule this year. Who was it that St. Francis of Pennsylvania beat them this season?
First win ever against an FBS school for St. Francis. St. Francis isn't even in the top 25 for FCS. UTC is. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, we're not playing a powerhouse this weekend, that's for sure. Vols Time, thank you so much for that super chat. We really do appreciate that so much, man. That is incredible. Thank you. He wants to see Nico have 380 passing yards and 60 rushing yards. That would be incredible. I just don't know if Nico will be in the game long enough to do that.
I don't see them letting him run. I think it's going to be, hey, throw your RPO or hand it off. That's it.
Monica, welcome. Great to have you as always. Thank you for joining us. Tony said no reason for the starters to play more than a quarter. There shouldn't be. You're right. There shouldn't be. They should be up enough by certainly halfway through the second quarter. That should be it for the starters. Herb said, okay, thought baseball schedule flips home at home on rotation schedule. Why do we have back-to-back trips to LSU, Arkansas, and Alabama? Great question. So somebody actually asked Tennessee baseball that earlier today, and they answered it. So I'll read you their answer here in just a little bit. I'm going to save that, Herb, because we're going to actually talk about that at the end of the show. Because the SEC baseball schedule for Tennessee was released today.
We're not going to do a depth chart breakdown on Kent State?
Probably not. Probably not. So
haters.
Things I want to, things I want to see is exactly what Mr. Osborne said. No injuries, no turnovers, no unforced penalties. That's what I want to see. I want to see us come out and just absolutely score at will. That's what I want to see. I want to see us get at least 3 sacks in the first quarter because their offensive line won't be able to handle our front seven. I want to see Tennessee take control of this game instantly and never look back. That's what I want to see. But more than anything, I want to see no injuries. That's what I want to see. More than anything. I think Mr. Osborne made a good point by saying he wants to see proper focus because, listen, the football team, they know the same thing we do. They know how terrible this team is that's coming in here. So can they come out, focused and do, play well straight out of the gate? That's going to be a good test for that. Like he said, no depth chart for Florida either. I heard you're exactly right. Florida did not release a depth chart this week. They said they're not going to do it for the rest of the season. So we'll see how that plays. It's a bold strategy. We'll see how that plays out for them. Not a great strategy in my personal opinion, and that is never a good thing. I mean, we at least release one. We just have like 8,000 oars on ours. But if you're not even releasing one, that is not good. That is not good. Let's see here. What else we got going on in the comments? It's bad enough that they didn't release it for this week, but the fact that they said they're not going to do it for the rest of the season, dude, that ain't good. Volstom said, I want to see 68 points in the first half. I get that. I totally understand. That'd be awesome if it happened. Sean said, does that point to issues in the locker room about Florida? 100% yes. I totally agree. They're doing it under the guise of, well, we have a quarterback competition right now, so we're not going to name a starting quarterback. Well, that's bogus. All you got to do is just put or. I mean, just look at what Tennessee does. I mean, their whole lineup is or. That's what their lineup is. What that tells me is there's people in the locker room who are griping about playing time. Well, I should be playing in front of this guy. And you release a depth chart, and then they get mad, even more mad, that kind of stuff. And if we don't think if that's happening, listen, all you got to do is go back and look at what happened after the first game of the season when one of their starting wide receivers posted a photo on social media of him flipping off the camera saying blank this team. I mean, not ideal locker room camaraderie there.
It also kind of makes you wonder, you hear all the stories about their NIL program and all the issues they have there. When you have depth chart issues, a lot of times internally the issues stem from, well, why is he making that? Why don't I get paid that? Or in Florida's case, hey, my check bounced again. What's going on?
Yep. Let's see. Big Orange said, I've hardly seen any Bama and Georgia fans around East Tennessee this year, at least way less than usual. Go Vols, baby. That's exactly right. Mr. Osborne said, do we think the Vols score 70-plus points this game and 800-plus yards of offense? That's a great question. So I've got an interesting stat for everybody that I'll give here in a minute when we do our score predictions. Mina like you liked your check bounce comment. She liked that. Let's see. Stash Man, welcome, buddy. He said, don't forget Nico's very young. He only played 3 games. He's very smart and learns quick. I'm sure he won't make the mistakes he made this past week. And that's a good point. I mean, we're sitting here talking about could they score how many points? Well, you still got a guy making only his 4th start of his career. So I think that's a very rational point. I think that's good. So Rustin on Sunday, because our next live will be Sunday night at 9 o'clock. If you're not familiar with our schedule, we always go live on Thursday night and Sunday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So Sunday night, when we're talking about what happens tomorrow night, because the game tomorrow night is 7:45 on SEC Network.
Saturday
late
night.
Game. Oh, yeah, this is Thursday, isn't it? So Saturday night is 7:45 on SEC Network. So, Rustin, who do you think we're going to be talking about? Now, I think this is actually a more interesting. Personally, I thought it was more difficult to answer this question this week than normal.
Yeah.
So, who do you think we're going to be talking about on Sunday?
Deshaun Bishop.
That's my answer too. How about that? We didn't even talk about that before. Why do you think Deshaun Bishop?
I think Dylan Sampson gets 2 series and then he's done for the day. Deshaun Bishop will get the majority of the first half. The second half will be a 3-headed monster of Cam Seldon, Peyton Lewis, and Khalifa Keith. And all 3 of them may run for 100 yards in the second half. That's a very real possibility. But I think Deshaun Bishop will get a lot of touches late first quarter, all second quarter with the first team offensive line. And, I mean, let's be real. Khalifa Keith and Peyton Lewis would be superstars at St. Francis. St. Francis ran for over 200 yards against Kent State. There ain't no Peyton Lewis's or Khalifa Keiths out there. So it's going to be a really, really long day.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. So actually, Deshaun Bishop was my pick as well. And it was a lot of the same reasons you just said. I think Deshaun Bishop's going to get in the second quarter. The whole second quarter will be his. I think when we come out in the third quarter, he'll get the first series in the third quarter, and then they're going to turn it over and let Peyton Lewis and Khalifa Keith go the rest of the second half.
And Cam Seldon, he's active.
I know. I was gonna ask that here in just a second. So side question that we don't normally do, but side question for people in the comments. You can let us know what you think. Well, before I do that, we got some more comments coming through. Ricky said, "You wish we still had overthrow Joe." No, I don't, Ricky. I'm very happy with our current offense. I'm very happy. Big Dave, welcome back. He said 70 points, nah, 69, 800 yards, nah, 799. Go Big Orange. He's being conservative there. Big Orange said East Tennessee is absolutely drop dead gorgeous during this time of year. Enjoy it because it only lasts 3 to 4 weeks. Make sure to take those pictures. Great advice, buddy. That's a great advice. Totally agree. Enjoy the mountains and the beauty. Audrey liked your take about Deshaun Bishop. So here's my question. We both agree. We both, like I said, we didn't talk about that before, but we both agreed to have the same person selected for who we're going to be talking about. My question for you, Rustin, it's a two-part question for everybody in the comments. Y'all let us know. Number one, yes, Cam Seldon is, well, Josh Heupel's exact words were he expects them to play, but we won't know for sure until it gets closer to time. Because, and I love what Wes Rucker said. He said, because he's programmed by a computer to say that. So Cam Seldon's available for this weekend. He is.
Yep.
So my question is, number one, should Cam Seldon play or should they rest him until next week? And number two, if he does, how many carries should he get? What do you think?
Yes, you definitely play him because you don't want his first snaps to be at Oklahoma. He needs to get some game reps. I mean, the reality is, how many snaps total are they even going to get? I mean, I could see us scoring within the first 3 plays of every drive. So, I think a lot of it depends on how many possessions because Tennessee charged possessions per quarter. So, I think it depends on how many possessions they think they're going to get. They want to spread those touches between Seldon, Lewis, and Keith. So, I could see him getting 5-6 carries, probably at most.
I think that's fair. I agree with what you're saying. You don't want the first hits he receives to be at Oklahoma because those hits are going to be very different than what he's going to be getting this weekend. So this weekend can almost be kind of like a ease into it situation. And then you've got real go time next week because you do want even more than getting hit running the ball. You want him practicing pass protection. That's what you want. And so let's do that this week when he has the opportunity to do it against lesser competition before next week when it's go time. Like they have to win next week. They have to. If they want to make the playoff, you got to win next week, in my personal opinion. TK is asking, does he play at all? So, yes, I think Dylan does play. Mr. Osborne said, yeah, you play Cam Seldon, but you give him 5 to 7 carries. Mr. Big Orange said, we're wearing all orange this Saturday. It's true. White helmets, orange shirts, orange pants. That's right.
Those
I
are
love
britches.
The orange uniform. Yeah, britches. My bad. Excuse me. Let's see. Big Dave said Cam will play. Give him 5 to 10 carries. So here's my prediction. I'm going to get very specific on this. Dylan Sampson is currently leading the SEC in rushing. In like every category of that, by the way, every rushing category. They don't want that to change. So I'm going to say Dylan Sampson gets as many touches as he needs until he crosses 100 yards and they get him out of the game. Now, I'm going to say that is no more than 8 touches. That's what I'm going to say. They give him the ball 8 times. He gets 100 yards and 8 carries because he's going to average over 10 yards a carry. And he's out of the game halfway through the first quarter or second quarter. That's what I think is going to happen. And we won't see him again the rest of the game. That way they can tout the fact that he's had 3 100 rushing yard games to start the season. And they can be like, and then you'll see all the, graphics that their incredible, graphic design department makes that says like the last time a Tennessee had a rusher start the season with 3 100-yard rushing games was so and so and so and so, whoever it was. I don't know the answer to that, but I think that's what we'll see. They'll get him that's what happened last week. Let's be honest. Like he came back out in the game in the second half. He didn't have to come back out there, but they gave him 2 carries just to get him over because he was at like 94 yards. So they came out and they gave him a carry, and he only got a 3-yard gain. So like, all right, well, we'll do one more, and that's when he busted the one down the sideline for 38 yards to score the touchdown. So, I mean, and that was it. That was it for him. So I mean, like that, they got him his 100 yards last week. I think they're going to do the same thing this week and get him out of the game. Let's see. Mr. Osborne said, I'm surprised we're wearing the all orange this weekend. Those are normally reserved for Bama, Florida, etc. I love the all orange uniforms. Just surprised we're wearing them for Kent State. Big Dave said, heck, Sampson will have 100 yards on 5 carries. So my initial thought was 7, but I was like, no, I'm going to bump it up to 8. But we'll see. That's why I said no more than 8. Let's see.
He could get 100 yards in the first 2 drives.
Probably, yeah. Listen, I don't think that the mighty St. Francis of Pennsylvania, whatever they are, I don't know what their mascot is. If you know, let us know in the comments.
I do know. They're the Storm.
Okay, I don't think that Storm is going to be quite as big as what we've seen thus far. So I don't think they're going to be able to stop Dylan Sampson. Let's see, Audrey. Oh wow, Audrey, thank you so much. Audrey gave $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Audrey. We really appreciate that. You are awesome. Thank you. She said, I need to see Brew in the end zone for a touchdown. I agree totally. I think we will 100% see that. They're going to make that happen this weekend. Like they will do that this weekend. I'm confident. Whatever they got to do. Let's see here. Big Orange said, I'm okay with what they choose, though, if all looks good. Yep, as far as uniform combo. He said, my second favorite uniform combos, white shirts, orange pants. Love it when they go with that look. Big Dave said, Lady Vol Soccer just beat Tiger High 1-0. Mina Lackey likes the idea about Brew getting in the end zone. Absolutely. And Audrey said, yes, Brew, absolutely. It's gonna happen. Like they're not gonna not let that happen this week for sure. Elijah said he wishes it was a different opponent. That I get that. I understand. First night game in Neyland's Kent State. Yeah, it's kind of it'll be great for a half, and then probably people are gonna start leaving.
How would you like to be the SEC network crew that got assigned to that?
It's going to be. Yeah.
I messaged Cole Kubelik today and said, who did you tick off at the SEC network that they want you to have to spend a whole second half talking about Kent State?
Yep. Mr. Osborne said, I wonder if Mike Matthews plays this weekend 100%. He does.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll probably see him the whole second half.
Yep.
Let's see. Audrey said, I don't hate the dark mode unis. I don't either. They look really sharp, actually. Big Orange said, I want to see them wear the orange helmet with orange shirts, orange breeches. Yeah. I think that's coming eventually. I do think they're going to do that eventually.
Yeah.
So, Rustin, having said all these things, the last thing we do is we give our score prediction. So what is your score prediction against, almost called them the Purple Aces, against the Golden Flashes? What's your score prediction?
It hurt me to do this because I was trying to find every way possible to convince myself not to say this number, but the analytics just say this is probably going to happen. I've got Tennessee winning 70-0. Because if you stop and think about it, that's just 5 touchdowns a half. our starters are going to score 5 touchdowns. And like I just said, St. Francis ran for over 200 yards when they've got a whole second half facing potentially Deshaun Bishop for a series, and then Cam Selden, Peyton Lewis, and Khalifa Keith. Those 3 guys could easily go score 5 touchdowns in a half against this defense. So that's 10 touchdowns. So I got to go 70-0.
So I think that's a really good prediction, and honestly, that's less than what I thought you were going to say.
and if Kent State scores, we fire Tim Banks, because they shouldn't cross midfield.
Well, okay, so I think based on what you just said, I think there, especially defensively, I think there's 2 things we got to consider here, and that is how long are our starters going to play? First of all, how long is Kent State going to leave their starters and to potentially score on our second string and third string and fourth string with their starters?
Their starters struggled to score against St. Francis. Yeah. Our third and fourth string defense is way better than St. Francis.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to score. I'm going to call right now. I don't think they cross midfield unless we do something to help them. I mean, it's going to be really bad.
So, I when you look at the first 2 games, Tennessee has not allowed an offensive touchdown yet this season, and that was to UTC and NC State. Both times they only allowed 3 offensive points. Now, those 2 teams are way better than Kent State, and UTC is a 100% a better team than Kent State. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So, knowing that, go ahead.
Our third string defensive tackles are David Hobbs and Jackson Boy.
Yeah.
Those 2 dudes alone can destroy the entire Kent State offense by themselves.
Yeah. They would be starting pretty much anywhere else in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you consider how we performed against UTC and NC State, let's pick specifically UTC. We beat UTC 69-3. UTC is a better team than the Purple Flashes. No, Golden Flashes. Sorry.
Golden Flashes.
I got Purple Aces stuck in my mind.
Leave now. Evansville out of this.
Yeah. So if that's the case, if we beat UTC 69-3 and they're better, then logic would dictate that this game is going to be worse than that. But there's something about that number 70. It's a tough number to get. To put it into perspective, and here's a stat that I looked up earlier that I told everybody I was going to give everybody here. The last time Tennessee scored 70 points in a game was in 2000. In the year 2000. That's a throwback to early Conan O'Brien stuff. So all the way back in the year 2000, Tennessee beat Louisiana Monroe 70-3. That is the last time Tennessee scored 70 points. Here's where it gets even crazier. The last time Tennessee scored 70 points before that, 1929.
It's a good team.
Yeah. Against Carson Newman. They beat Carson Newman 73-0.
Also an Eagle.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. So when we cross that magic threshold of 70 points, Tennessee has only done that twice in the last 95 years. That is not
make
good
it 3.
odds. So something they've only done twice in the last 95 years will happen again this Saturday.
Yeah.
My final score prediction, I'm going to say, I wanted to say 76-3 because I feel like they're going to at least maybe try to get a field goal or something.
Not unless they can kick a 67-yarder.
Yeah. I'll go with that. I'll say 76-3. That's my final score. Side note, that would be the highest point total for a Tennessee football team since 1920. Hang on, I got it right here.
You said 29.
Well, 29 was 73 points.
Oh.
If they score 76, so hang on, I got all the scores right here from the years. It was like 1915, I think.
Man, those Tennessee teams in the teens and 20s were jerks. They just ran it up
Yeah,
on
they
everybody.
were. Yeah, they were. The 1915 team, they scored 101 points twice that year. They beat Carson Newman 101-0 and Cumberland University 101-0 and Center College 80-0 all in 1 year.
I wonder if that's the year Georgia Tech set the scoring record on Cumberland.
Maybe. The year before that, Tennessee beat Carson Newman 89-0. When was Carson Newman going to learn?
They better have been paid well for that beating.
Yeah. So, all that to say, it is very possible that we see literally a historic number put on the board this weekend. That 70 it's a rare number. It is a magic threshold that you just don't cross very often. Only done it twice in the last 95 years. I hope they do it, but I won't be shocked if they don't, because there's something about it apparently.
I think we need to tweet that 1915 score at Hypel and challenging. Can you beat 101?
Yeah, there you go. Gauntlet thrown. Some of the other predictions coming in. Audrey's very optimistic. She said 15,298 to 3 Vols.
I'm telling you, this team will not score. This team will not cross midfield. This team may not get a first down. Honestly, like, the only way I think this team gets a first down is if we play just crazy off coverage and let them catch a 10-yard pass. I don't see a way that they do anything.
Mr. Big Orange is talking about he wants to see orange helmets, white shirts, orange pants. He was there for the orange helmet game. That's cool. Let's see. Mina, like you said, we score 100. I mean, they could legit if they wanted to.
It's insane to think that way, but the reality is it's possible. I mean it.
Well, here's why it's possible. Think about this. Would you agree that late in the third quarter and really the entire fourth quarter, Josh Heupel let his foot off the gas against UTC?
Yeah.
So last time we were live, I mentioned if he let his foot off the gas against UTC, which I think everyone watching would agree with that. The reason that was because it's an in-state sister school. And there's, you don't want to like totally embarrass your in-state sister school. I get that. That is not the case with Kent State. That is not the case. So they have no reason to not let their third and fourth string try to operate the offense at the level that they normally do, to try to build that skill within them.
But what I'm saying is, even if he takes the foot off the gas, he could run inside zone every single play in the fourth quarter, and Khalifa Keith or Peyton Lewis is going to run for 100 yards rushing and 3 or 4 touchdowns, because they have not seen anyone who looks like that, and they've gotten their brains beat in twice. Like, our third string offense is probably better than anybody they've faced so far. So, I mean, we just run inside zone 10 times in a row. It could be 6 or 7 touchdowns.
So Herb asked, will we see Navy Schuler? Yes, we will. The last snaps of the game will be taken by Navy Schuler. That will happen.
He may get a couple of series. If they can get Nico out by the end of the first quarter, they can give Gaston the second quarter and part of the third, give Merck part of the third and half the fourth. Navy may get a couple of series.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. He probably will. Big Dave said Kent State will quit by halftime.
So that is the one thing that could happen that could keep us from scoring 100. The coaches have the ability at halftime to decide if the second half is going to be a running clock, and
it will be for
they
sure.
may make that move.
Yeah, they will. Mr. Osborne said he called it. He said, I think we may have had 70 against Louisiana Tech in the early 2000s. It was Louisiana Monroe. You're exactly right. You called it. Like he said, it's the Golden Aces. Instead, the purple flashes and the Golden Aces. Audrey said the purple people eaters. Yep. Big Day said they won't come out of the half after the second half. They'll claim they all got COVID. Doug said Rustin is up on his mascots. Good to have you, Doug. Good to have you.
I am a wealth of useless information.
Audrey said 101-0 on Watkins Field in 1915. Absolutely. Mr. Osborne said, we owe Bama a real whipping. I would much prefer to score 70 on them in Florida. They are both much more deserving of that than Kent State. Yeah, they might prevent us from doing it, but I would agree with you wholeheartedly. Mina score predictions 100-0. Audrey said 101-0. Mina upped her. She said, yeah, I agree, 101-0. Well, I just said 1915 Vols, best team ever. Let's see. Mina said her dad was 1 year old in 1915. That's cool. Let's see. Oriole Puppy Dog said 73-0 Tennessee. He said, nope, 77-0. Don't know what I was thinking. So he's like, nah, forget the field goal. We're scoring touchdowns. That's it.
Yeah. There, under no circumstances should we be kicking field goals against this team.
He said, do we get any pick sixes? Maybe.
It's probable.
That's a good call. Eric said, what's up, Vol Bros? I'm saying Tennessee wins 75-0. Hey, Eric was one of the 4 people who led the way at 8-2 in our college football pick'em challenges last week. Eric, good to have you with us.
So 10 touchdowns, a field goal, and a safety. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. That works. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Elijah said Kent State produced Nick Saban, punish them. I like that. Punish them for who they created. That's pretty good. Audrey said 104-0 versus Temperance University in 1905. Hey, those Temperance people, they were some good football players, let me tell you.
Okay,
I want to know what their mascot was.
Well, no, that begs the question: what university is now? What did that become? What was Temperance University?
That's a good question.
I would look it up, but I have no internet.
So Sam has made the best point of anybody the whole night long, including us. Sam has hit the nail on the head. He said, run the clock out before there's a rain delay. Amen, brother.
That's what Colt Kublik's hoping for.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you imagine?
For sure.
I mean, not just being in the booth, but being in the booth and or being a sideline reporter for this game. Like, there's not enough human interest stories you can collect during the 2 days you're there to have enough information to talk about when this gets out of hand. Like, they're going to be stretching for any conversation humanly possible. Now, that's when Cole's in his element. So some of the best TV SEC Network has might be them talking back and forth during the game in the second half. But
Cole's signing people's shoes again.
Yeah.
Or eating blooming onions again. He don't have blooming onions. He'll eat a Petro. That's what I'll do. He'll eat a Petro.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Fort Rep 1, welcome, buddy. He said there'll be a kick return and a punt return touchdown. That'd be
possible.
Cool. That'd be cool with that. Mr. Osborne said, I wonder if Saban would get mad at us for crushing his alma mater. Who knows? Maybe cry to Sankey about it. That's pretty good. Audrey said Temperance was in Harriman, Tennessee, and closed in 1908 from shame.
Holy cow!
Pretty good. Pretty
good. There's a random fact you don't hear every day.
I like that, Audrey. Harriman, Tennessee, representing there. I like that. That's good. So tell me your score prediction again. 70
to 0.
So this is actually interesting. This might be a first. I don't know. I never predict more points than Rustin, ever. He's always predicted more points than me. And so this we need to notate this is a Volbro, maybe a Volbro first. I'm gonna say 76-3. I really think it'll be nothing, but I'm like, there's just no way. Surely they'll do something. But I really think it's actually 0. So officially I'll go on and say 76-3. Rustin's saying 70-0. Mina like you like the she knows she liked that last comment. That was funny. So not expecting a whole lot to happen this weekend for the Golden Flashes.
Not a high expectation.
Yeah. Billy said, "Hey Billy, welcome. Good to have you." Said, "What time does it start?" Central Time. So it's 7:45 Eastern Time. So that'll be 6:45 Central on SEC Network is when that game will start. She said, "You're being like you said, you're adamant they will not score."
I'm not exaggerating when I say I'm not sure they can get a first down. I mean, it's that bad. This is the worst team to walk into Neyland Stadium in probably 40 or 50 years.
Yeah, I agree. Audrey said, "Pity points. I don't think Josh Heupel will allow that." I agree. He won't. They would have to earn it for sure. Big Dave said, "How many trainers, water boys, and GAs will play?"
All of them.
Yeah.
They may go up in the stands and ask if any of the students want to try kicking.
Let's see. Elijah said, "Does anybody know how much we're paying Kent State?" I don't know.
It's not enough. Whatever it is, it's not enough. They need to be paid a whole lot for the abuse they're about to take.
Sam said, instead of the hurry up, he said, "Do you think they're practicing using the whole play clock this week?" Maybe for the second half. Yeah,
definitely.
Sean said, "Let's make it 3 50-point games in a row." Hey, there's no doubt.
An issue.
It will happen. That will happen for sure. Oreo Puppy Dog said, "It doesn't matter, but do you think Tennessee moves up to 5th after this week?" Well, I guess it all depends on what other teams do. I mean, listen, Tennessee ain't gonna get any help from the AP for beating Kent State. I mean, that ain't gonna help them.
I can't imagine anybody in the top 6 loses this week. They've all got pretty weak opponents, don't they?
Oh man, this week is terrible. The only team ranked higher than us that's playing a team worse than or playing a team that's ranked is Missouri, and Missouri's playing Boston College. Big Dave said they could get that big male cheerleader that couldn't do the push-ups last week.
That's a great point right there. Those are the people who need to get paid Saturday night, because those cheerleaders are in for the worst night of their lives.
Yeah, they're all going to be doing toe raises in the rain. Sam said, "How many want to play when they lay eyes on Elijah Simmons?" I got cramp, coach. I got a cramp. Yeah, Big Dave agreed. He was like, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I'm going to share my screen real quick because I've got the tweet from Tennessee baseball earlier today that I just want to show real quick before we sign off. The baseball SEC schedule was released earlier today. Tennessee baseball tweeted out. They play Florida, Texas A&M, Kentucky, Auburn, and Vanderbilt at home. They travel to Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, LSU, and Arkansas. Now, earlier somebody, I think it was Herb, asked, why do we have to go to places that we just went to this year? Well, with the influx of new teams into the conference, that created, essentially a reset on all the conference scheduling.
Yep.
And so somebody asked, why do we have to go to Alabama in back-to-back years? And Vol Baseball actually replied to them and said, since Alabama and Vanderbilt are our two permanent opponents, so underneath the new system and with, now with 16 teams in the SEC, they gave each school two permanent opponents. Tennessee's two permanent opponents in baseball are Alabama and Vanderbilt. With those two schools being our permanent opponents, we played both on the road last year. We had to go back on the road to face one of them this season. Each team will play one of its permanent opponents at home and one on the road each season. So that's why they had to go back there. It's just kind of like, a situation where you got new folks in the conference. So it's just a reset situation on the scheduling.
Yeah.
Just like with football.
I thought the weirder thing was, why did we not get Texas or Oklahoma? Like, I would have thought every SEC school would have gotten one of them, just like they did. Just like they did in football. I thought that was bizarre that we didn't get one of them.
Yeah, totally agree. Somebody actually asked them that too, and they didn't reply to that one, so they didn't have an answer for that either. Let's see some of the other comments. Eric said, Kent State is the worst team in college football, so why did the University of Tennessee schedule him? To get a W.
Didn't they book this like 3 years ago?
Oh, for sure, yeah. At least, right?
They had no way of knowing how bad they were going to be.
Yeah. Elijah said the Texas A&M series in baseball at home is going to be electric. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That road schedule's rough.
Audrey said Kent State hasn't won a game since 2022, I don't believe. It ain't going to happen this weekend either, is it?
That's not going to happen this year. Their only chance at a win on their whole schedule was St. Francis, and they blew it. They're going to go 0-12.
What'd you say their mascot is?
The Golden Flashes.
No, St. Francis.
The Storm.
The Storm. That's what the Storm was brewing, baby. They couldn't handle the storm coming out of Pennsylvania. St. Francis, they're the real deal.
I only know that because I had a former player go there to play wide receiver. He graduated last year. Otherwise, I never would have had a clue. They're in Philadelphia. Like, I didn't even know they were in Philadelphia until he signed with them. I'd never heard of them until he signed with them.
Let's see. Sam said, when are they going to outlaw that whistler at Vanderbilt? Man, I wish it had happened 5 years ago. Good grief, that guy's annoying. You can't even watch him on TV. The guy's so annoying. Big Dave say playing in Oklahoma in early spring will be cold. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it will be. Yes, it will be. Well, Saturday night, SEC Network, 7:45 Eastern, white helmets, orange shirts, orange breeches. Tennessee taking the field for the third game of the season against the Golden Flashes of Kent State. Rustin predicts 70-0. I predict 76-3. It should be a lot of different Vols playing that night, man. A lot of different Vols. If you want to see the young guys play, this is one of the games right here. Hopefully no one gets hurt so that the following week when they travel to Norman, which will be another night game, they got a full squad rested and ready to go. Eric said, y'all have a good night. Appreciate that, Eric, so much. Appreciate you joining us. As a public service announcement, if you have not yet submitted your picks on our College Football Pick'em Challenge, they are due tonight because the first game is tomorrow night. It's Arizona versus Kansas State. So if you haven't yet submitted your picks, please do that very, very soon. Let's see here. Carl, looking at you, buddy. If you're out there watching, Carl, if you're out there watching, we need you, man. Vols by 50. I don't see you on the thing yet. Sam said their coach will be like those are your freshmen. Yeah, exactly. Big Dave said 101.5 to zip. Mina like he said 86-0. Audrey asked, can I order a Vol Bros t-shirt? Yes, you can. We will gladly, help that happen. All you got to do is go to here. I'll share my screen again. All you got to do is go to thevolbros.com. In the top right corner, there is a shop button, and there is every shirt that we have ever designed on there. We got the Everything School shirt. We have honorary sis shirts and honorary bro shirts. The Home Sweet Home one with the state outline is probably my favorite. We got Battered Vol Syndrome Survivor shirts, hanging with the bro shirts, in my Tony era stuff. Vol Bros coffee mugs and t-shirts with that design. We've also got just like, hang on. Oh, there it is. Vol Bros shirts and hoodies like that. Man, we got everything on there. Absolutely. So many different pickleball. You can get pickleball stuff on our website. It's the best. So y'all can check that out for sure. Audrey said Vols by 50 plus. Absolutely. Hey, she's pumped about the shirts. That's what I'm talking about. You're awesome. You're awesome, Audrey. Big Dave said, love the show. Go Big Orange Peace. Hey, we appreciate you, Big Dave. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Osborne said, thank you, Vol Bros. Everyone have a safe weekend and go Vols. Also, cool info on the shop button. I will check that out. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I should probably mention that every show, and I never remember. That's like Mina Lackey helped me out earlier. Mina Lackey, she said, hit that like button earlier in the comments. So I appreciate that, Mina Lackey. I don't do a good enough job of remembering those things. Audrey said, I don't even know what pickleball is. It's like tennis, basically. It's like tennis, just with a different racket and ball. It's like a wiffle ball, basically. Mina Lackey said, go Big Orange, absolutely. Oreo Puppy Dog said DirecTV still didn't have SEC Network, so I got to watch on my phone. Yeah, I understand. Elijah said, good night, bros. Hey, we appreciate you, Mino Lackey. Eric said, yeah, I'm going to have to give me one of them Volbro shirts. Those are sharp. When I get the cash, I will. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate you, man. Very kind of you. Very kind. So hope everybody has a great evening. This is always so much fun, man. We love doing this. So, Rustin, appreciate you joining us on the road there. Traveling, man, we appreciate it very much. So, Audrey had a good piece of advice. Audrey said you can probably stream from your phone to your TV. That's a good point. That's a good point. So, hope everybody has a great it's Friday tomorrow, and it's going to be a long Saturday waiting for that game. Hopefully, there's no rain delays or weather delays. That will just not be fun, especially for the people there, like Rustin was saying. But we hope everybody has a great evening. We hope to see you all again right back here on Sunday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. So go Vols, everybody, and we'll see you very, very soon.